Welcome back to Red Cedar Radar, here with another post-game episode following Michigan State's win over Minnesota here in the Breslin. Brendan and I covered the game. Pretty handed win. Whatever. It's
a dominant win.
Currently 11:15 p.m., so that's why that just happened. But yeah, the Spartans really owned the home court here. I felt like there were some moments where they got a little shaky, but they were able to quickly come out of all of those things. Also, they're using a leaf blower in the background, so sorry about that if the audio isn't great. Player of the game for you.
Yeah, I thought Carson Cooper played really well. I know he may not pop out of the stat sheet in terms of points. He had 9 points, left some free throws on the board. He was pissed about that in the locker room after the game. We were kind of joking about it, but he played well rebound-wise, 11 rebounds, tied his career high, 3 blocks as well. So he really contributed on the offensive end, getting to the line, scored 9 points, like I said, off the glass. Had a couple offensive boards as well, I believe, and on the defensive end with the block. So I thought Cooper played really well. He was part of a really good defensive effort throughout the entire game. Yeah. I thought Michigan State, outside of maybe a Minnesota run in like mid-second half, I thought Michigan State defensively played really, really well. I thought this was one of their best games defensively.
I was going to say the best game defensively this year. They really, what it is to say, they were really working on like crashing and what word did he use? Where like multiple guys were coming together on the defensive end, kind of squeeze out Minnesota and not let them do anything on the offensive boards specifically. My player of the game, Trey Holloman. I think that's an obvious one just because of his play at the end of the first half. No points in the second half. Is that right?
That is correct.
Yeah, but I think he was a necessary energy boost going into halftime and kind of help the Spartans kind of lift out of maybe what was a little bit of a dull kind of middle of the first half.
Yeah, it seemed like Trey, once he hit those back-to-back three-pointers, I felt like the game was kind of out of reach. I don't think Minnesota really threatened after that, so I thought that kind of put the game to bed, even though it was like end of the first half that happened. But I thought Trey, those 3 huge three-pointers, probably the biggest series of shots of the game, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. Notable positives, just overall.
I thought ball movement was good. I know Jace Richardson, career high 8 assists. Fears had 6 assists.
Yeah.
So I thought point guards distributing the ball was really well. They pushed the ball really well. You know, Izzo said he wants the wings to run a little bit harder, but overall, I thought ball movement, I thought fast break was decent. So
yeah. I was really impressed with Jeremy Fears pushing the ball up the court. Sometimes I felt like he pushed it so well that the rest of the team wasn't prepared to move that quickly. And I think if they could all get on the same page with that, they caught Minnesota on their heels a couple times, or at least Jeremy caught Minnesota on their heels a couple times when he was pushing the ball up the floor. Energy, I felt, was good. The team was playing connected. I mean, sharing the ball, sharing kind of those moments. Trey had his, Cohen had a couple. Just the things that we've been consistently seeing with them being a connected group.
Yeah, one more thing. I thought Kohler, seeing the 3 ball go down a little bit for him today, went 2 for 4 from beyond the arc.
Yeah.
Had some boards as well, so I thought he played well. I think it was beneficial for him just to see some 3-pointers go down, for this team to see some 3-pointers go down.
Absolutely.
Ended the game 8 for 25, so not great. That's 32%, so not great, but better 3-point wise.
But when you think of those shots moment to moment, when those 3-point shots went in at the beginning of the game, things were a little stagnant.
Yeah.
They went in, the crowd got into it. So, like, there's more factors than just kind of end percentage. So I get where you're coming from with that. Any notable negatives?
Notable negatives. Well, turnovers were down.
Yeah.
Only had 9 turnovers, I believe.
I know Holloman specifically mentioned turnovers in the locker room. I think specifically from that one that Izzo kind of turned and slammed both of his hands on the scorer's table. I think that was just fresh in his mind because that was a specific one for him. But, you know, not too much comes to mind when I'm thinking of negatives. As we look ahead to USC, I mean, travel is going to be a big factor there. Playing USC and then UCLA is a big deal. That's just a long flight and just a lot to kind of prepare for. What do you think about that trip? How do you think MSU will fare out in California?
I think it's 2 games that they should win. I know Big Ten going on the road's tough, but it's not like USC, UCLA. That's not ultra tough road environments like Illinois or Purdue or even Indiana. So I think these are 2 winnable games against roughly 500 teams in the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm expecting Michigan State to pull both of these out. I know it's a tough long road trip or long flight, whatnot, but I think these are two winnable games.
I think it's two winnable games with the team that we saw tonight and we've been seeing. Travel will impact and is going to impact everyone in the Big Ten, but I feel like this team is equipped to handle those additional challenges with how well they're playing together. So a good foundation kind of maybe will lead to some success, even with some additional challenges with going out to California.
Yeah, and as everyone says, defense travels, right? So Michigan State's been playing really well defensively lately. Expecting to see that same thing against USC, UCLA on the road. And I guess the other road games that they have in the month of February. So month of February is really tough.
Yeah.
I think they can afford to drop maybe one of these and still win the Big Ten. But with how tough the month of February is, obviously you don't want that to happen against USC, UCLA, two roughly 500 teams. So
I do feel like the energy is different with these guys. Like years past, like, it's okay to drop a couple games. Like, it'll be fine. We can bounce back. I don't think dropping a game is even on the acceptable radar at all with this team, which, I mean, probably not with any team, but it just feels like there's a good energy heading into what will be kind of a crazy February, like you said. Anything else to mention?
It's 13 in a row for Michigan State, undefeated in the months of December and January. They carry that into a tough month of February, like you said. So.
Were they saying that's the first time in Izzo's career that he has gone undefeated in those 2 months? That's what I've heard rumor-wise from a couple of the other guys. I didn't fact-check that, but I like it.
Regardless, great 2 months of basketball for Michigan State. Not only have they been undefeated these past 2 months, but they've been playing really well at a very high level. So
I was impressed with the turnout tonight. Like I said to you before the game, 8 o'clock game, Tuesday night against Minnesota, who was on a hot streak, but you never know. This place was packed, rocking. That is kind of a testament to what this team is bringing to the table, I think. So I think that's another notable positive. Consider subscribing to Spartans Illustrated for more coverage of men's basketball. Women's basketball is also rocking. Women's gymnastics is rocking. Men's tennis. Hockey. How did I say that one last? Lots of good coverage over at Spartans Illustrated, so consider checking that out. Find Red Cedar Radar and Brendan and I wherever you listen to podcasts, and find us on YouTube. Thanks so much for watching, and I will be in USC, so you'll see my face again for a post-game recap out there. Thanks for watching.